This HR manager limited men's speaking time to fight the patriarchy, but completely froze when client asked her to explain the code. Let's jump into it. Be me, 32F, HR People and Culture Lead, Series B Tech Startup, office is in South Lake Union. Been here for exactly 14 months. I don't code. I don't design. I facilitate. I curate culture. My job is to ensure the office doesn't turn into a frat house, which is an uphill battle because 90% of the staff are men between the ages of 24 and 35. They are exhausting. They speak in a language I don't understand. Not just Python or Go, but this shorthand of memes, gaming references, and technical arrogance. I see it as my duty to civilize them, to break down the boys' club barrier and make room for the marginalized voices. Currently, the marginalized voices are me, the receptionist, and 2 junior female developers we hired 3 months ago, Sadie and Jen. I feel protective of them, like a mother hen guarding chicks from a pack of socially awkward wolves. Tuesday, 7:45 a.m. Wake up to the sound of rain hitting the window. Check my phone immediately. Scroll through Twitter for 20 minutes. Get angry at a thread about the gender pay gap in tech. Fuel up on righteous indignation before I even get out of bed. Shower. Dress in my approachable authority outfit. Oversized blazer, statement glasses, combat boots, to show I'm grounded. Drive to work. Traffic on the I-5 is a nightmare. Listen to a podcast. The host is talking about verbal real estate, how men expand to fill the available time in a meeting, like a gas. It resonates with me deeply. I nod along in the car, gripping the steering wheel. Yes, I whisper to no one. They take up all the air. Get to the office. Badge in. The smell of high-end roasted coffee beans hits me. We have a barista on site from 8 to 10 a.m. His name is Brad. He makes a fern leaf in my oat milk latte. Rough commute? He asks. The usual. I sigh. Just ready to tackle the systemic issues, Brad. He smiles vaguely, having no idea what I'm talking about. I take my coffee to my office. It has glass walls on 3 sides. It's supposed to symbolize transparency, but mostly it just makes me feel like I'm in a zoo exhibit. I sit down and look out at the engineering section. It's quiet right now, but soon the stand-up will happen, and the noise will begin. 10 a.m. The daily stand-up. This is the bane of my existence. Technically, I don't need to be there. It's a technical status update, but I attend to monitor team dynamics. I stand in the back, notebook in hand. The team gathers in a circle. The lead architect is Patrick, 33M, tall, thin, wears the same faded NASA t-shirt once a week. He has that specific kind of developer arrogance, where he thinks logic applies to human emotions. He doesn't speak loudly, but he speaks with absolute authority. Patrick starts talking about the database migration. He's explaining a blocker. We hit a snag with the sharding key, he says. If we don't refactor the index, we're going to see latency spikes on the West Coast nodes. I'm thinking we need to rewrite the query optimizer. He goes on and on. I check my watch. He's been talking for 4 minutes. Nobody interrupts him. The junior guys are nodding. Jen, one of the female juniors, looks confused. She opens her mouth to ask a question. Patrick doesn't see her. He keeps talking. So I'm going to spend the day stripping out the legacy code, he concludes. Jen closes her mouth. She shrinks back. My blood boils. I see it so clearly. He steamrolled her. He didn't even know he did it. That's the worst part. It's the casualness of the exclusion. The meeting ends. Patrick spoke for 12 minutes total. Everyone else combined spoke for 5. Jen spoke for 0. I walk back to my office, heels clicking on the concrete. I am shaking, not with fear, but with purpose. This ends today. I sit at my desk, open a new document, title it, Proposal for Equitable Communication Standards in Synchronous Meetings. No, too wordy. Delete it. Title it, Project Amplify, Giving Voice to the Voiceless. Perfect. I spend the next 4 hours drafting. I pull up the pie charts from my observations. I categorize speaking time by gender and seniority. The data is damning. 90% of the airtime is consumed by 3 men. I write the executive summary. To create a truly inclusive environment, we must disrupt the traditional hierarchy of communication. We must treat time as a shared resource, not a private commodity to be hoarded by the privileged. I outline the solution. Strict time limits. The equity timer. Seniors capped at 5 minutes per hour. Juniors and women uncapped. Mandatory yielding protocols. If a man interrupts a woman, he loses 1 minute of his allocation. It's radical, it's punitive, but it's necessary. Shock therapy for a sick culture. 2 p.m. Meeting with the CEO, Austin. Austin is 45, a nice guy. He just wants everyone to get along and ship code so he can sell the company. I walk into his office without an appointment. Austin, we have a problem. He looks up from his phone, startled. Oh, hey Kaylee. Is it the espresso machine again? No, Austin. It's the culture. It's rotting. I drop the proposal on his desk. He picks it up, reading the title. Project Amplify? We are losing talent, Austin, I say. Jen and Sadie feel silenced. I spoke to them. They feel like they can't contribute because the seniors, specifically Patrick, suck all the oxygen out of the room. Austin frowns. Patrick? He's just passionate. He carries a lot of the load. He's a gatekeeper, I correct him. He uses technical jargon to intimidate. He monologues to assert dominance. If we don't fix this, we're looking at a hostile workplace lawsuit. I drop the L word. Lawsuit. Austin pales visibly. Okay. Let's not get crazy. What do you want to do? Implement the timer, I say. Trial run. 2 weeks. If it doesn't improve morale, we scrap it. But I need your full backing. No exceptions. Austin rubs his temples. We have the Falcon audit coming up next month, he says weakly. The German client. They're strict. A structured meeting environment will impress them, I assure him. It shows discipline. It shows we value precision. Austin sighs. Fine. Announce it tomorrow. But if velocity drops, it's on you. Velocity is a construct, I say, smiling. Collaboration is the reality. Wednesday, 9 a.m., the all-hands meeting. I've set up the room. I bought a large, red digital gym timer from Amazon. It's mounted on the wall. Everyone files in, joking, laughing, holding coffee. Patrick sits in the back row, as always, hoodie up. I take the microphone. Good morning, team. Today marks the beginning of a new era at Sinetra. I present the slides. I explain the time equity system. I see the confusion ripple through the room like a wave. Brows furrow, whispers start. Patrick looks up from his laptop. He takes off his headphones. Wait, Patrick says. His voice cuts through the murmurs. You're saying I can only speak for 5 minutes? In a 1-hour architecture review? Precisely, I say, beaming. It forces you to prioritize, to distill your thoughts, to make room for others. That's impossible, Patrick says flatly. I can't explain a distributed system in 5 minutes. It takes 10 minutes just to draw the diagram. Then maybe you shouldn't be the only one explaining it, I counter. Maybe you should empower Sadie to explain it. Patrick looks at Sadie. Sadie looks like she wants to die. Sadie started 3 months ago, Patrick says. She doesn't know the legacy codebase yet, and she never will if you keep talking over her, I say. This is happening, Patrick. It's not a request, it's policy. Patrick stares at me for a long, uncomfortable moment. Then he shrugs. Okay, he says. Policy is policy. He opens his laptop again, puts his headphones back on. I feel a surge of victory. I stared down the mansplainer. The first week, it is awkward. I attend every major meeting to enforce the timer. I hold a clipboard and a stopwatch. Monday planning meeting. Patrick starts outlining the sprint. He gets to 4 minutes and 50 seconds. I hold up my hand. 10 seconds, Patrick. He stops mid-sentence. And that's why we need to lock the beep. The timer goes off. Time, I say. Who wants to pick up where Patrick left off? Silence. 15 developers stare at the table. Steve, senior backend, raises his hand. I can finish his thought, Steve says. No, I say. You're also a senior. You have your own allocation. Let's hear from Jen. Jen jumps. I think he was talking about the database. Good, I encourage. Go on. I don't know which table he meant, Jen whispers. Patrick is sitting back, arms behind his head, staring at the ceiling. He looks entirely relaxed. He doesn't offer to help. That's okay, I say. Patrick, can you answer yes or no? Is it the user table? Patrick points to the timer. I'm out of time, he mouths. I flush. You can answer a direct question, I snap. Oh, Patrick says. No, it's not the user table. Then which one? That would require an explanation, Patrick says, which I don't have time for. The meeting grinds to a halt. We end 20 minutes early. Nothing gets decided. I send an email recap. Great session today, everyone. We uncovered some knowledge gaps that we can now work to fill. This is what growth feels like. Week 2, the silence grows. The office used to be loud. Arguments about Star Wars versus Star Trek, debates about Vim versus Enax, people shouting across the room about bugs. Now, dead silence. Everyone is on Slack, typing furiously. I walk past Patrick's desk. He is typing a novel into a chat window. I pause. Patrick, I say. We want to encourage verbal communication too. Don't hide behind the screen. He turns to me, removes one earbud. I'm documenting, he says. Since I can't speak, I'm writing everything down. It's creating a paper trail. Isn't that what HR wants? I can't argue with that. Good, I say. Keep it up. I walk away feeling uneasy. He's following the rules, so why does it feel like I'm losing? I go to check on Sadie and Jen. They look miserable. Sadie is staring at a wall of code on her screen. How's it going, Sadie? I ask, sitting on the edge of her desk. It's hard, she admits. I'm stuck on this API integration. Have you asked Patrick? I tried, she says. He sent me a link to a 40-page documentation file he wrote yesterday. He said he can't walk me through it because of the new policy. I frown. That's passive-aggressive. Is it? Sadie asks. Or is he just doing what you said? I look at Sadie. Really look at her. She looks tired. I'm doing this for you, you know, I say softly. So you have space to grow? I know, she says. But sometimes I just need to be told the answer. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to drive the car. I pat her shoulder. Trust the process, I say. Growing pains. 3 days before the Falcon visit, major outage. The site goes down at 2 p.m. Customers are tweeting. Austin runs into the engineering section. Fix it. Fix it now. Everyone looks at Patrick. Patrick looks at the clock on the wall. He stands up. Okay, it looks like a deadlock in the transaction queue, he says. We need to kill the process and roll back the last commit. Steve, you need to SSH into the primary node. Jen, you check the logs. He speaks fast, urgent, authoritative. I'm standing by the water cooler. I watch him take command. He is a conductor, and the team is the orchestra. He hits the 5-minute mark. I check my watch. I struggle with myself. This is an emergency. But if I make an exception now, the whole system collapses. If rules only apply when things are easy, they aren't rules. I step forward. Patrick, I call out. He stops. Austin looks at me, eyes wide. Kaylee, not now, Austin pleads. Especially now, I say. Panic is when we revert to bad habits. Patrick, you've been directing for 5 minutes. Let someone else lead the fix. Patrick stares at me. The room goes silent. The red alert light is literally flashing on the dashboard. You want me to stop fixing the production outage? Patrick asks. I want you to delegate, I say. Steve, you take over. Steve looks terrified. I don't know the pseudo password for the primary node, Steve stammers. Patrick has it, I say. Patrick, give him the password. Patrick smiles, a terrifying, calm smile. I can't, Patrick says. It's a long password. It would take me at least 30 seconds to read it out phonetically. And I'm capped. Just write it down, Austin says. Security policy prohibits writing down passwords, Patrick says. HR handbook, page 42. He looks at me. Right, Kaylee? I freeze. He's right. I wrote that policy. Just say it, I yell. I can't, Patrick says. I respect the equity timer. He sits down, folds his hands. Austin looks at me with pure hatred. Say the damn password, Patrick, Austin screams. Patrick sighs. Correct horse battery staple. Wait, no, that's the old one. Let me think. He wastes time. Deliberately. The site is down for another 10 minutes. Finally, Steve guesses it. They fix it, but the damage is done. We lost $25,000 in transactions. Austin calls me into his office afterwards. He is shaking. You almost cost us everything, he whispers. I upheld the standard, I say, my voice trembling. Patrick held us hostage. He proved my point. He made himself a single point of failure. He's the lead architect, Austin yells. He is the single point of failure. That's why we pay him. That's a structural weakness, I say. Get out, Austin says. Just get out. I leave. I go to my car. I cry for 10 minutes, then I tweet about it. When mediocrity is threatened by equity, it lashes out. Stay strong, sisters. #corporate-life. I get 50 likes. It makes me feel better. I convince myself I am the martyr here. The Falcon meeting. Friday morning, the Germans arrive. They are here to approve the API integration. If they sign, it's a $5 million contract. If they walk, we miss payroll in 2 months. The delegation is led by Mr. Weber, 60s, silver hair, suit that cost more than my car. He looks like a Bond villain, but with less humor. We gather in the boardroom, Austin, me, Patrick, Steve, Jen, and the product manager. I insisted on being there to facilitate. Austin was too tired to argue. We sit around the mahogany table. I place the red timer in the center of the table. It looks like a bomb. Weber looks at it, raises a single eyebrow. "What is this device?" he asks. German accent thick. "It's our equity timer," I explain, smiling broadly. We limit speaking time to ensure a democratic exchange of ideas. We find it enhances creativity. Weber looks at Austin. "You limit the discussion?" "We structure it," I correct him. Weber shrugs. "Very well. Americans and their gadgets." He opens his folder. "We have technical questions regarding the latency during the handshake protocol. We noticed a 200 milliseconds delay in the test environment. This is unacceptable for our automated sorting systems. We need to know why this is happening and how you will fix it." He looks at Patrick. "You are the lead architect?" "Yes," Patrick says. "Explain the delay." Patrick stands up. He walks to the whiteboard. He picks up a marker. He looks at the timer. I nod at him. 5 minutes, Patrick. Go." Patrick starts drawing. He draws the network topology. He explains the round-trip time. He explains the SSL handshake overhead. He is brilliant. I hate him, but he is brilliant. He is speaking fast, trying to cram it all in. Weber is nodding, engaged. Yeah, I see. "And the load balancer?" Patrick draws the load balancer. "So the issue is that the sticky sessions are not beep, beep, beep." The timer screams. It echoes in the glass room. Patrick drops the marker. Mid-sentence. Persisting correctly, he finishes in a whisper. "Time." I call out cheerfully, "Thank you, Patrick. Great summary. Now let's open the floor. Jen, what are your thoughts on the load balancer?" Jen freezes. She is holding a water bottle. She squeezes it so hard, it crinkles loudly. Weber turns to look at Jen. He looks impatient. "Young lady, do you have a solution for the sticky sessions?" I work on the front end," Jen stammers. "I don't really touch the load balancer." "Then why are you speaking?" Weber asks. He turns back to Patrick. "Finish your thought. How do we fix the persistence?" Patrick looks at me. I shake my head. "Strict adherence. If we break it for the client, we have no integrity." "I can't," Patrick says. "I'm capped. I have to respect the process." Weber looks confused. "Capped? What is this?" "My time is up," Patrick says. "I cannot speak for another 55 minutes. Weber laughs, a short dry bark. "This is a joke, yes?" He looks at Austin. "Austin, tell your man to speak." Austin looks at me. I stare him down. "Don't you dare, I think. Don't you dare undermine me in front of the client." Austin crumbles. He is too weak. It's company policy," Austin mumbles. Weber stops laughing. His face goes cold. Stone cold. "You have a policy," Weber says slowly, "that prevents your expert from answering my questions?" "It promotes diversity," I pipe up, though my voice sounds thinner than I intended. "We want to ensure you hear from the whole team, not just one person." "I see," Weber says. He leans forward, clasping his hands on the table. He locks eyes with me. "Very well. If you have silenced the architect, you must be prepared to take his place." My stomach drops. A cold flush of adrenaline hits my neck. "Excuse me?" "The question stands," Weber says, pointing to the whiteboard with a laser focus. "The latency in the SSL handshake. How do you resolve the deadlock if the primary node fail?" Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. The only sound is the rain hitting the glass and the blood rushing in my ears. I look at Austin. He is staring at his shoes, refusing to make eye contact. I look at Patrick. He is leaning back in his chair, watching me with a look of pure, unadulterated entertainment. He isn't going to save me. I look at the timer. It's ticking. I have to say something. I have to prove I belong in the room. I have to prove that management is just as valuable as coding. "Well," I start, my throat feeling like sandpaper. We approach the deadlock holistically." Weber raises an eyebrow. "Holistically?" he repeats. Yes, I say, trying to channel my inner TED talk. We ensure that the node communicates with the other nodes in a way that is transparent and equitable. I am throwing buzzwords like sandbags against a flood. Does the node yield its time? Weber asks, his voice dripping with sarcasm. The system is designed to be agile, I stammer, my hands shaking under the table. It uses the cloud to mitigate the friction. Weber stares at me. For 5 agonizing seconds, I feel the sweat trickling down my back. I realize, with horrifying clarity, that I have no idea what a node is. I don't know what SSL is. I am a fraud in a blazer standing in front of a man who builds logistics networks for a living. You have absolutely no idea what you are talking about, Weber states. It's not a question, it is a verdict. I am not technical, but then why are you talking? He snaps. And why is the only person who does know what he is talking about forbidden from speaking? He stands up. He slams his folder shut. The sound is like a gunshot in the quiet room. This is unserious, he says. We are trusting you with millions of packages, millions of euros, and you are playing kindergarten games with a stopwatch. He turns to me one last time. And who are you again? I am the head of people and culture, I whisper, my chin trembling, no longer able to lift it. People and culture, Weber spits the words out like they are poison. You have no culture. You have silence. He turns to his team. Wir gehen. We are going. They stand up. The room is paralyzed. I feel panic rising. Real, suffocating panic. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to be impressed by our equity. Wait, I say. We can suspend the rules. Patrick, speak. Patrick looks at me. He smiles. That same cold, dead smile. I wouldn't want to violate the safe space, Kaylee, Patrick says softly. I think I'll just listen. Speak, I scream. I don't feel empowered to speak right now, Patrick says. I feel silence. Weber is at the door. He looks back one last time. He looks at me with pure disgust. You have destroyed this meeting, he says. Do not contact us again. The door closes. The click of the latch is the loudest sound I have ever heard. We sit there, the 5 of us. The red timer is reset to 0. Austin stands up. He doesn't look at me. He looks at the table. Patrick, he says. My office. Now. Sure, Patrick says. Patrick stands up. He grabs the red timer off the table. He tosses it into the trash can in the corner. It lands with a heavy thud. He walks out. Austin follows. Steve and Jen pack up their laptops silently. They don't look at me. Jen looks disappointed. Not angry, just disappointed. Like she realized I wasn't her protector. I was just another obstacle. They leave. I am alone in the glass room. It starts to rain harder outside, drumming against the glass. I sit there for an hour. I expect Austin to come fire me. He doesn't. He doesn't even acknowledge me. I walk back to my desk. My email access is already revoked. That was fast. I try to log into Slack. Account deactivated. Okay. So that's it. I pack my box, my framed degree. I walk through the office. I look over. Patrick is standing on a desk, literally standing on a desk. He is shouting commands. Okay, screw the refactor. We're doing a hotfix. Steve, revert the commit. Jen, get me coffee. We're calling Weber back in an hour and we're going to demo the fix live. The energy is frantic. Toxic? Maybe. But it's alive. Jen is running to the kitchen. She looks energized. She looks like she has a purpose. She brushes past me. She doesn't even see me. I walk to the elevator, press the button. The doors open. I step in. As the doors close, I hear a cheer go up. They must have gotten the code to compile. I go down to the garage, get in my car, sit there in the dark. I want to call my mum. I want to call my friends. But what would I say? I tried to make things fair and I lost the client? No, the truth is worse. The truth is that when the chips were down, nobody needed me. They needed Patrick. They needed the competence. They needed the uneven, unfair, brilliant reality of talent. And I was just the referee in a game nobody wanted to play. 2 weeks later, I'm updating my resume. I changed my title from Head of People and Culture to HR Generalist. It sounds less ambitious. I see a LinkedIn post from Austin. It's a photo of the team. They are at a bar, holding giant steins of beer. Patrick is there, arm around Steve. Jen is there, laughing, holding a trophy. Caption, celebrating the Falcon deal. Huge thanks to the team for pulling a miracle out of the fire. Special shout out to Patrick for the architectural wizardry and Jen for the clutch UI fixes. Dream team. I zoom in on Jen. She looks happy. She looks part of the tribe. I'm not in the photo. I'm not tagged. I was erased. I check the comments. Great culture, says a recruiter. Love to see diverse teams winning, says another. I feel a knot in my stomach. I close the laptop. I look around my apartment. It's quiet. Perfectly, equitably quiet. I have all the speaking time in the world and absolutely nothing to say.